Shit. Right? We could be talking shit. So, all right. Here with main man Kelvin from Handlebars and Cigars. I mean, it's been a long time we've been talking about doing this anyway, right?
Exactly.
So we're not just Drew Estate exclusive. And just to point that out, here's a punch. That's the Fu Manchu that I'm going to have today. I'm going to do a nice V cut on it. So I'm going to start on that. I'll turn it over to Kelvin.
Meanwhile, on me, though, I am smoking a Drew Estate. And this is the Nica Rustica, from the freestyle event that they had a little while back. They are going to be launching this out here hopefully soon. It's going to be called the Nica Rustica Adobe, which I am fortunate to have one also. But I'll be probably smoking that on another installment. Like I said, this is our first video. We're just trying to get used to everything, sound check, video check, and things of that nature. So this is our first shot at it. So, please don't beat us up too hard, but we do encourage any feedback that you can provide us so we can do this moving forward better. And that's the whole purpose. I think both me and Will both agree on, we both have a passion for cigars.
Yeah.
Also, spirits. So we will be introducing spirits as we move forward.
Speaking
as
of
for
which,
me right now, I'm drinking the water right now. But as we move forward with more content for you guys, we're definitely going to be introducing some spirits, so we could talk about pairings as well,
right?
With the cigars, because I think that's very important. When you smoke cigars, you would like to have the pairing with them, wherever it is, whether it's an adult spirit, wherever it's a good coffee,
even sodas. There's been talk about Yoo-Hoo, which I actually have tried, but I'm not going to talk about it now. We're going to wait until we get that cigar happening,
exactly,
with the combo,
exactly.
And like I said, that'll be later on. Exactly. And the spirit I'm having, because I know probably somebody will ask, is the Redemption regular bourbon, not the rye, not the wheated, not the rum cask version, which I've tried. This is still my all-time favorite. It's in my top 5. I always have it on hand. So, yeah, I usually enjoy every stick I have.
Yeah.
With that bourbon. So
that's kind of Will's go-to bourbon. I think for me, my go-to is Larceny. But again, we will talk about that in future episodes. What I like to pair that with. I really like to tap in on Will's knowledge with different spirits. I know he's really starting to get himself entrenched in the mezcal arena, and I know he got some good combinations with that, and some good mezcals that you would probably be interested in hearing more about, and hearing his point of view too as well. I'm more of a bourbon guy. Trust me, I'm no aficionado. But, again, from my point of view, different pairings, we'll be able to discuss, as we move forward, talk a little bit about that too as well. So I'm super excited about this. When you guys get a chance, please check me out on Handlebars and Cigars. I've got a YouTube page out there, and also you can follow me on Instagram at Handlebars and Cigars too as well. And the reason why the page is called Handlebars and Cigars, my other passion that I just picked up is riding motorcycles. So I kind of combined the two and started that journey too as well. So we're going to talk everything about, motorcycles and everything cigars. On the motorcycle side, it's Harley Davidson in particular, because I do have a 2020 Rogue line. So, Will, just tell me a little bit about the cigar that you're smoking now. Well, I know you just cut it. I think you used the what?
Yeah, I used the V.
V cut on that.
Let's see if we can get a good angle. Yeah, you can see the V cut on this. Perfect little V. It's got that little tail on it. I like to leave it on. That's giving you that Fu Manchu kind of thing. I'm not sure if they meant it for, the front side of your goatee or the back of the head where they, remember them old Kung Fu flicks? Yeah. The 37 chambers, bring some of that back.
Oh, no, not the Wu-Tang.
Woo-ha. But, punch is another go-to of mine. I think one of my first that I tried was somebody said they had an egg roll. And I kind of raised an eyebrow, an egg roll. I didn't order Chinese food.
Yeah. What's that?
And we're at a cigar shop, and they were like, well, try one. And I was like, okay. let's give it a shot. It's about half the size of this one. Same circumference. It's different build. It's a little lighter. I'm not going to talk about that one too much, but that's the one that got me into Punch. And there's a few other iterations that I like because of Chinese New Year. They always had like a different one. I know they had egg roll, chop suey, kung pao, and I know now they have the Fu Manchu. Fu Manchu. Damn, I already forgot that. Look at me.
That's all right.
That's what happens when you're drinking spirits before the show. But yeah, this one is a little more on the medium side, if not a little more to the full side of flavor. Yeah, I can't describe the cigar as well as most people out there. I'm just telling you what I'm getting from it. I like that it's a little stronger than your regular everyday cigar that's kind of like bland or has a Connecticut wrapper and it's a little lighter. This has a little more punch to it.
So you cut it. All right. You take your first pull, or
yeah.
So what's your first impression?
Well, because I've had it before, it's nothing new to me. It's more of, I'm really bad at this sometimes, but it's got like a caramel type flavor to it. Okay. It's kind of soft, smooth, but it does have a little bit of bite. And I think that's usually from the first time you light a cigar, you should get that smokiness, that really like bitey start of it. So, I'll talk to you when I get a little down on this one. Like I said, it just started. So that's pretty much it on this one so far. Kelvin, on the other hand, already started with his Nica Rustica Adobe and also did a V-cut, if I'm right.
Yep, I did a V-cut on it.
And how you feeling now that you're probably like what, like maybe a quarter into it?
Yeah. Well, like I said, first thing I like to do when I talk about cigars, I kind of look at the construction of the cigar. This cigar again is from Drew Estates. I do like a lot of their cigars. One, it produces a lot of smoke, so that's one of the things I like about the cigar. I also kind of check out the construction of the cigar now. Excuse me, with this Nica Rustica, like I said, it's going to be the Adobe when it comes out. It is not a Connecticut or broadleaf wrapper on it. It has a Habano wrapper, which is a little darker than your broadleaf wrapper. So on my first impression, when I did a dry pull just to make sure I was going to have a good pull with this, I got some notes coming through, a little light pepper and some caramel on it, and I'm already down to the first third. For me, the cigar started off a little slow, and what I mean by that is it started off maybe I would say mild. During the first third, you can get the pepper through it, and I'm starting to transition right now to the second third, and I'm already seeing the flavors starting to pick up a little bit.
Okay.
One thing I like to do when I smoke cigars is do what they call a retrohale. So what that means is when you basically take a pull from the cigar, you let a little bit out, and then you let the remaining smoke come out through your nose. And that's where you get more of some of the flavors that come through, especially if the cigar has a lot of spice to it.
See, now I'm going to stop you there.
Yes.
Because there's been so much talk about retrohaling, and I've tried it. Not good at it at all. Half the time I'm like just choking. I do understand, what you're saying about holding a little bit in, having it out of your nose, and I've tried that, and it has given me a different profile to the cigar. So I'm going to continue to try. Not a pro by any means. Yes, I've been smoking cigars for over 20 years, and so I've had my share of different cigars, but there's always different styles. There's like, within Drew Estate, they call it safari style, where you smoke the other end instead of, where you're supposed to. And that's safari style. Like, right. There's so many different ways, something new always comes up that, oh, really? I didn't know you could do this.
Yeah.
And so that's why I wanted to stop you when you were talking about the retrohale, because I also want to put my opinion in it as well to let you guys know, it is something new, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's been around for a while, but yeah, I tried it. It's not for everybody. It's definitely not easy to do unless you've been doing it for a while. So kind of like riding a bike. And speaking of bikes.
Well, definitely I can agree with you on that. I just started retrohaling too. I think I saw a couple of people out there, on the social media platforms was talking about it. And I said, well, you know what? Let me try that and see what happens. And it definitely gave me a different look, a different feel, a different taste from doing that. So I kind of incorporated that into my cigar smoking. Now, again, like I say, Will and me, we're not experts. We just like to sit around and smoke cigars, and talk about the cigars that we smoke. There are some good cigars, and we've had a couple of bad experiences.
Oh, we have had some bad. But there's also, like you said, there's good and there's bad. But there's also a lot of hype behind a lot of cigars.
Correct.
We're not going to mention names at this point. We may later on in the series. Who knows?
Yeah.
But there have been cigars that have been hyped up to such a degree that you're almost looking forward to having exactly what these people are describing. This euphoric version of a cigar, this unicorn of a cigar that you may have never had. So you're out on the hunt for one.
Yeah.
You get one, you light it up and you smoke it, and in the back of your head thinking, was this really real? Like, is this... I'm thinking back on Public Enemy, don't believe the hype. So that's been a big part of me. Like, I don't buy boxes unless I already know the cigar. Yes. Or I've had it and I love it and I want more of it. And not just more of it, but on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
So I know on the punchlines, I've had a box of each one of them. And my worst mistake was the chop suey. And, the chop suey came in like a little box. I actually have the box. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. So while he's getting the box, I just want to kind of reiterate some of the things Will was saying. This is all objective. It's your personal feeling, personal opinions on these cigars. And definitely, like I say, he's going to talk a little bit about, his experience that he had with the chop suey. And, later on, I'm going to talk about some of my experience with some of the cigars, like Will was saying,
right,
that didn't live up to the hype. It's like a boxing match, everybody's waiting. The big promotions and the smack talking. The night of the fight, you're like, oh my God, these guys are like two tomato cans.
Right, and normally we would also watch UFC here, on a weekly basis on Saturday nights, having more cigars, some, good liquors going on. But, yeah, while we're on the topic of punch, and this is not to, say anything completely negative. I'll still smoke them because I bought them. But this was going to be a gift for Chinese New Year for a cousin of mine. And actually, I'm kind of glad I didn't bring it down. And COVID kind of hit because you'll see it's the 2020. Comes with the chopsticks. Not even joking. Yeah. So this was that punch from 2020. It's called the Chop Suey. And the wrapper, I can tell you right now, was, what does that say? Ecuadorian Sumatra. The binder was Nicaraguan. And the filler was Nicaraguan and Dominican. Love my Dominican cigars, by the way. But that was the only letdown of the whole punch line. That kind of sounded funny, right? The whole punch line.
The punch line.
But...
no pun intended.
Yeah, seriously. This was one out of the 4 lines that they came out with. Like I said, I enjoyed the egg roll, which is the first one I had. Then it was the chop suey, and then it was the kung pao, and now I'm having the Fu Manchu, which I'm really enjoying. Like, this is a good stick. Like, I wouldn't consider it an everyday stick. This is a go-to when you're not sure. Like, do I want this? Do I want that? I haven't had this in a while. So you'll reach out and grab for it. That's this kind of stick for me.
Yeah.
So once again, like Kelvin has said, these are our takes on what we experience with cigars.
Exactly.
We're not trying to tell you what to do with cigars or which cigars you should have or which you should stay away from. There's guys that probably love the chop suey. Hit me up.
Yeah.
I got plenty left.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know your experience. And also, too, for some of the, I would say, newer people that's trying to get into smoking cigars, I think this is a good platform they could tune into to kind of get our opinions and what have you, and some of the things that we could talk about in references, getting into, the cigar smoking game, so to speak.
Yeah.
One of the things, one of my own recommendations for somebody who's currently in that space is not to go out and buy boxes. Try different cigars. See what your palate likes. You got to educate not only your palate, but also your mind when it comes to cigars.
Right, and when you're picking up cigars, just like you said, don't buy a box.
Mm-hmm.
Buy maybe a box full of all different makes, all different lines.
Yep.
Go from light, medium, full body.
Mm-hmm.
Try it out. You'll never know what you're gonna like until you try it. Pretty sure some of you might have kids, how do you know you don't like it if you don't try it?
Boom. Exactly.
And everybody doesn't have Mikey in the house that likes everything. So.
But I tell you, so far, I'm really liking this Nica. And if it's anything like the other Nica lines that they have, the price point are probably going to be anywhere between the $5, $6, maybe $7, depending on where you are. Area. Hopefully they'll keep that price point in that area once they officially launch this cigar. I believe it's coming soon. I don't have an exact date on that, but definitely it's a good stick, in my opinion, of course. It does offer, like I said, some good smoke, but Drew State's cigars as a whole offers a lot of good smoke, and I'm really enjoying this. And I got a little bit of a wavy burn. I don't know if you saw that, so I might have to touch that up a little bit just to even that out. But that's another thing too about smoking cigars. This could come from a host of 4 or 5 different things too. Maybe the humidor wasn't at the right temperature, or or maybe the person who actually rolled the cigar might have rolled it a little, some imperfections in that too as well. But it's nothing major. Like I said, I'll just take my lighter and touch it up so I can have it even out and continue to enjoy the smoke. Now, I've had cigars, and again, we'll probably talk about that in a future episode, where one thing I absolutely hate is happen to relight cigar 3, 4,
it's the worst.
5 times.
It is the worst. And I will tell you now, if you're starting out with cigars and the draw is tight, meaning when you're trying to get that draw where you're pulling in from the cigar and you feel like you're busting a vessel on your forehead, get one of the draw tools. Now I'm not going to promote this either, but it's a tool. It's got a punch on one side, a punch on the other, and it's odd that I'm smoking a punch, but here we go, right? But you take that side out, and that's your draw tool. And what this does, you stick it in on the inside of the cigar, and you'll put it in, and then you draw it out, hence the name draw tool. If at that point your cigar is still giving you a headache just trying to pull, guess what? Put it out. There's plenty of more cigars out there. You don't need to fight with a cigar. Cigars are here for your pleasure, for your relaxation time.
Exactly.
Camaraderie, the talk, the liquor. I mean, whatever you're into, you could be having this on the beach.
Yeah.
You don't want to be fighting with something that you're trying to enjoy when you're on vacation.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure you'll have more than one cigar with you when you're on vacation. Throw that one out. Grab a new one.
Yeah. For me, like Will was saying, for me, the cigar is supposed to complement the environment or the setting that you're trying to create.
Yeah.
And like I said, wherever you're sitting down with the fellas, watching UFC, talking junk back and forth to one another, I don't have to keep, hey, time out, guys. Hold that.
Yeah, can you imagine you're like constantly with the cigar and you're like, hold up, that's the last thing you want to be doing right there. So, and he was showing you his ash, and believe it or not, even this one has a slight curvature to it, and it'll happen. It's not a big deal. Most of the time, it'll even itself out. I'm not one of those guys that likes to stack dimes because I don't want ash all over my body. Yeah. I've done it. I just don't care to do it. They say don't tap the ash because it'll fall off naturally.
Yeah.
I just don't need it in my crotch. I don't need it all over my pants and my shirt. You know, it's just. I mean, I've got some cigar burns on some of my shorts also. So I'm just saying, you know, you do what you want to do. I just know what I don't want to do. This is why we're here. We're having a good time. I know, Kelvin, you've done a bunch of YouTube videos by yourself.
Yes.
And we, like I said at the beginning of this, we talked about doing this together because I think it just more pleasurable to listen to two guys talking shit than just having one guy's opinion on a cigar.
Exactly.
So we came up with this little idea. I was like, you know what? Let's roll it out. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. And hopefully you guys enjoy this, and you know, definitely stay tuned. There's going to be more to come on some of these cigars and spirits talks that we're going to have moving forward. Definitely love to have your comments on anything, good, bad, or indifferent. We'll definitely take time out to respond to your comments because this is something that we are definitely both invested in, and we are definitely
we both love this stuff. So
we both have a
if you've got certain sticks, if we've got them on hand and you want our opinion on them, hit us up. Let us know what you want us to review or give you our opinion on. Go for it. If there's a particular brand of bourbon that you can't get in your state and maybe I have it on my shelves, hey, not a problem. So, but I did want to ask you.
Yes.
You've had the original Nica Rustica.
Yes.
Okay. So here's the thing, and this is kind of like my question always. Mm-hmm. So I love the original, and the original I think was like a yellow. Yeah, it's this one. Oh man, that's got a lot of shine on it. But the Nica Rustica, that's the original. It was yellow and black. The new one is got that blue. Yeah. Right. It's got that blue label, so it's not like the original. That's the pack it came in. Well, not that one because that one has a label. It'll probably look like that. So my question is, how would you compare the two? Of the two, which do you like better? What do you like better about each one? Or what do you like least about each?
I kind of like the old one a little bit better. I think the spice notes kind of hit me a little harder than this one. I think this one is a little bit on the leaner side of it. They're both good smokes. And trust me, I mean, this is definitely a cigar I would buy again. Just like with the old Nica Rustica, this definitely will be a cigar that I'll keep in my rotation. Actually, it might be a cigar that I might invest in buying a box.
See, that's the other thing, because this is why I wanted to know, because I know on the original, the box cover I just showed you, I bought a box of those before, and I would buy another box of those again. Because they are that good. Mm-hmm. Like, I love the original. The original, that was my jam. In my opinion, on this cigar, the new one, the Adobe, I think they toned it down a bit. And when I say toned down a bit, it's not as hefty or as strong as the original cigar. It is still an amazing smoke. Mm-hmm. And I'll probably buy a box of that too, be honest. Okay. But it's good to have both, and it's just like the same with the punch, because that's what I'm having right now. Mm-hmm. Figured I'd go back to that for a sec, because I'll have the egg roll, and I can have the Fu Manchu, but then I can go back to a Kung Pao. They're still the same line of punch, but they all got their little differences. And sometimes you want that. You don't always want to have the exact same smoke after you already had it recently. Mm-hmm. So that's why I would say, yes, I do like both of them. My preference is the older version compared to the newer version. But I love them both. That's why I was curious how you felt about it as well. And it's kind of the same thing, right? Where it's just a little lighter.
Yep, just a little lighter, but it still carries the same.
It's a similar flavor profile.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and it's the same experience. Smoke is still the same. And the draw on these cigars, I mean, you ain't got to worry about this draw tool at all. I mean, we're talking, they're just pleasurable to smoke. I'd be surprised if I ever had to relight one, unless I was talking a lot of shit. Then I'd probably have to relight it because I've been talking too long.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't ever remember having to relight one of these.
Well,
Seriously.
Guys, you need to definitely stay tuned when I start talking about one of my other favorite cigars, which is the Oliva V's, Series V's. Now, my buddy over here is not a big fan, so I know he's waiting to hear my review or my.
Well, I might have one with you, so we'll do a commentary back and forth, seeing how each of us feels about it.
Back and forth, because I absolutely love that cigar, and I tell you, that cigar for me. With the exception of the price point, that could be almost an everyday cigar for me. But the price point kind of run me off the 3-point line, so to speak. But definitely, we will be talking a little bit more in depth about that on future episodes, which is definitely something we're going to put on the calendar and chit chat about too as well. But you know what? I think we've been going here for almost 25 something minutes, minutes here. We're going to kind of wrap things up for today for this particular episode. Like I said, this is our first episode, so hopefully we was able to check most of your boxes and what have you. And again, thank you for checking us out and tuning in. I mean, that's one of the things why we sat down and kind of put this together, because we wanted to share our experience, to the masses, so to speak, and hopefully we'll reach you guys and you'll be interested in continuing to follow us.
Yeah, and like he said before, just put down comments, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is. We'll take notes.
Yeah, we'll take notes and make it better. All right, so we signing off here. This is, like I said, my man Cal from Handlebars and Cigars. And
Will Hart from the Cigarage.
From the Cigarage. And stay tuned for our next episode. Y'all be good now. Take care.
Bye.